All right. Welcome to December's Panvala Community Updates call. In these monthly calls, we give each community in the Panvala League a chance to tell the community about what's going on in their specific community, how other people can help them, and how we can, through the cooperation within the Panvala League, help everyone be more successful. To kick this off, let me share my screen. All right. Cool. So I'll start with a couple of announcements. So the Activities Fund is a portion of Panvala's budget that's really focused on social life. We give out grants to support events. If it was an in-person event, you could use a grant from the Activities Fund to provide free food for an event to get people to show up. For the remote events that we do these days, typically the grants are used for prizes to give out to get people to show up. That's governed by the members of the Activities Fund, and that's what we're going to start doing next month in January. So if you want to help govern that in the style of a student government on campus, that's what we're kicking off next month. Join the Discord. Every PAN holder in the Discord will have a vote over the signers of the Activities Fund multisig, and then we'll keep on operating the Activities Fund that way. For more on the Activities Fund, check out the Panvala Handbook, where it goes into detail of what we've used the Activities Fund for so far and what we're planning on using it for in the future. Secondly, feel free to promote your community's events on the Panvala events calendar at panvala.com/events. We have a calendar of Panvala specific events and events where you can earn PAN, like this one, from the Activities Fund. Basically, these are events that have applied for Activities Fund grants, and they give it out as a prize. There's also a calendar for the Panvala League events. So any Panvala League community can add events to this calendar, and we try to share that as much as possible to let people know what's going on. If you want more information about how to get your event to show up on this calendar, send me a DM. It's really easy. You just have to invite a special email address, and it'll pop up here. With that said, I'll dive into the community updates themselves. So the slide deck continued over from last month, so some of the slides are updated and some of them aren't, and we're going to figure out as we go which ones those are. So first of all, Upala.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So I'm not sure what to do, so just... we
can let you go second, and somebody who was here last month can go first.
Okay.
All right. Do you have Lab 10 Collective here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, go nuts.
Okay. I did not update the slide, I think.
No problem.
Okay, good. So basically, we have put in the Gitcoin grants for the Minerva wallet, and or should I kind of say a couple of words about us for the ones which might not have heard it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So for the ones which don't know us, the Lepton Collective is a cooperative in Austria, and some members are also from other countries. And we are mainly working on climate-related topics around in the blockchain space. So we are having a lot of R&D projects and infrastructure projects which are directed towards combating climate change. And Minerva Wallet is one of our infrastructure projects, which is currently in the Gitcoin grant. And we have a nice start. So it's working quite nicely. Collected a couple of pounds already, and doing so far so good. And we are also have started Zero Alpha, which is a digital arts platform where the artwork is always on sale, and the patronage from the owners goes to organizations which work on SDG goals. So basically having a grand scheme of a Harberger tax going towards organization doing good. So this is a new project. It's a test launch, what we're doing there. And let's see how this plays out. Yeah, well, if you are interested, please read up on those two grant projects and reach out to me whenever you want on our Telegram. I'm very responsive in those days when we have Gitcoin grants running.
Awesome. So next up, let's go back to Upala.
Yeah, hi again. Thanks for letting me think a bit.
No problem.
A couple of updates. For those who doesn't know what Upala is a anti-sybil uniqueness score to the apps, and this score is measured in dollars, and this dollar score represents the price price of forgery, how much it costs to forge. As updates here, as you see in the slide, we have Upala dashboard. Everything is there, but a couple of updates to mention. Just yesterday, I published an article on ETH Research on how Upala score works, how it leverages the shadow bot market to get that score. I will send the link to our chat in the chat, in Zoom chat, so you can see this article. And another update, this week or next week, I want to share the article on Upala's Blade Runner. It's a long thought DAO, where now I want to combine score providers and score consumers so that we can decide together what those both parties want from Upala. And I welcome Bright ID there, because Bright ID is a major partner for Upala right now. And everyone else interested in providing scores or consuming scores. So thank you.
Hey,
Awesome,
Peter, the short URL links aren't working for me. They just take me to shorturl.at.
Oh, okay. I'll send that into chat.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for noticing.
Cool. Next up is Web3 Bridge. If anyone's here from Web3 Bridge, I don't think so. A couple of seconds, and then move on. Next up is DeFi Safety. You're muted.
The click didn't work, sorry. It's Rex, no real change from last month. What we're doing is ratings for DeFi products based on a process we developed that is related to software process, software quality, and what we're starting to call transparency, which allows a third party to look at your app and make sure it's going to do what you want it to do. So yeah, we're working on funding through Gitcoin grants in Panvala, and what we hope to get going before next month, after the hackathon, is a button where we get a lot of requests for reviews from new DeFi products, and we want them to donate PAN for a request. So then we'll have an automatic regular PAN donation. That's kind of the way we're looking.
That sounds great. That's exactly the kind of thing we want to get people set up for, beyond just donations through Gitcoin grants. really donations through any mechanism you want to take them in for will be counted in the matching round. So really excited about the next is Common Stack.
Yay! I just want to say DeFi safety is super cool. Nice work, Rex. And I'd love to see some DeFi safety certifications as another funding strategy. Throwing it out there. But I guess it's my turn to talk about Common Stack. So a lot has been happening on our side. The Common Stack Trusted Seed is really our community. We're not as inclusive as other communities. I want to say this is the goal is to be actually an exclusive community to exclude green frogs specifically. There are no green frogs in our community, at least not as part of the Trusted Seed, because the goal of the Trusted Seed is to bootstrap public goods economies. So we need, we're trying to find people who care more about creating value for the public over individual profits. But we want to create a union where you can have both. And that's the goal of the Trusted Seed and the Common Stack. So that if you're creating value, then you should be rewarded for that value creation, even if it's for the public good. How audacious, right? Anyway, the big updates this month are the TE Commons. Oh man, I changed it in the slides that I had access to, but you made it. But so I'll just say I made new updates in here. There's the big thing is that we're starting to. Oh, thank you, Naran. The big piece is that we're starting a Swiss association. So everyone who currently holds CStack tokens will need to pay a membership fee to become part of a legal Swiss association, so that we can protect our members, so that when we're launching these economies, they don't consider themselves part of a general partnership in their actions of launching the economy. So it's a really cool way. They're the Trusted Seed, where this token will actually represent membership of a legal entity. So that's pretty cool. And you can apply right now to the Trusted Seed, and soon we'll have the membership portal open, probably this month. Also, we have a conviction voting test that's up right now and we use it to distribute the PAN that we collect in our community fund. So if you have CStack tokens, you get to decide where the funds go that we raise from Panvala. So it's super cool. All the funds that we raise in our Gitcoin grants get converted to PAN, and then we distribute them according to the top 15 people chosen through this conviction voting pilot. So go to cv.commonstack.org and you can find, as long as you have CStack tokens and you can get on the XDAI network, you can choose where the funds go. You can also join the TE Discord, where we have a very open community that anyone can earn impact hours. You will have to get those impact hours, you will have to be part of our Swiss association. And then this upcoming month, we have a test hatch. So we're gonna have a full rehearsal of the token engineering commons economy that we plan to launch. So if you have CStack tokens, you'll be able to put in like 1 XDAI as a donation and actually start to play with the system that we're creating. And if you want to see all the other events we have a very full token engineering community calendar. Okay, my time's up, sorry.
Awesome. I'm really excited about what's going on in Common Stack, that energy there to actually show people that you can create your own economies for your own community. It's really very aligned with what we're doing. I love seeing the experiments that you do with Common Stack.
We're just a complicated Panvala. You do it so much better, Neuron.
we do it together. We do it together. Next up is DX. Anybody's here? I don't see anybody, so move on. Next up is Mol LeArt.
Hey everyone, this is Stanford. So Mol LeArt, for those of you that don't know, we are a DAO governed Creative Commons with a mission to build tools and services that work for creators. So far, we have a number of smart contracts that can help creators mint tokens, mint NFT specifically for their digital files, whether it's painting, whether it's lab research, whether it's an article, anything that's sort of an expression of an idea. We are constantly developing new contracts. Over the past month, we've developed a new contract pattern where we're trying to separate out the royalties and the licensing portion from the digital file itself, and hoping that would provide more control for the creators, so that the creators can have as much control over their NFTs as well as all the other peripheral sort of benefits that they can get from the NFTs. If you are interested in learning more about Mol LeArt, we have a weekly community call on Mondays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Otherwise, if you're interested in learning more about what we do, feel free to join us and check us out. Thank you.
Thanks. Looking forward to more interesting NFT art experiments. Next up is Handshake.
Cool. Thanks for having us. So just for some background for what Handshake is, Handshake is quite literally the only way to actually own your name on the internet. So right now, namespaces on the internet are controlled by a handful of corporations. Right? You have your usernames on Instagram, Facebook, your handles. These are actually controlled by the companies themselves, and they can revoke those from you at any time. A layer up, those live on domains that are controlled by, actually, I think they all use .com. So facebook.com, Instagram.com. These are all living on the .com top level domain. Right? So that domain extension is called a top level domain. And there's only around 1,500 of these in the world. And finally, a layer on top of that, those are all controlled by one centralized entity, ICANN. So in other words, you could say the entire namespace on the internet is controlled at the root by a single entity, being ICANN. And if you wanted to get a new top level domain in the system, you have to go through their application process, and they charge an $185,000 evaluation fee, right? So this is for them to tell you that, no, you can't have Peter, you can't have .rex, and they're still going to take that $200,000. And so Handshake instead distributes top level domains. These are top level domains that live on the Handshake blockchain, and these are distributed through victory style auctions. In other words, they're just auctions, highest bidder wins the name. But I think the coolest part of this is that nobody controls Handshake, and so the winning bids just get burned. So seriously, the winning bids for the names that are won just disappear forever. You can't burn like fiat currency, but you can burn digital currency. And so this is seriously like, nobody controls Handshake. There is no such thing as a Handshake organization. It's just the redistribution of names back to the people. With that said, Handshake names do live on the Handshake blockchain, which browsers don't yet know how to access. And so you have to either configure your settings or use a gateway to actually access and share these Handshake names. But fun fact, every link that I've shared on the slide is in fact a Handshake name. So HNS, learn.nb, NB, these are all Handshake names. But the HNS.2 is a gateway that lets that basically tells your browser how to actually get to the blockchain and resolve those names. And with that said, there's one additional thing I should say. If you do have a GitHub account and you had more than 15 followers in 2018, you're probably eligible for an airdrop for Handshake. What the Handshake creators did is they first raised $10.2 million to give the token itself some value. And they donated all of that to the open source community, right? So Wikimedia, open source initiative, donated it all away. And then on top of that, they created an airdrop for developers to claim as a way to incentivize developers to build in the ecosystem. So if you have any developers on your team who's been on GitHub for a while, they're probably eligible for this Handshake airdrop. And ways you guys can help, pretty simple. Just claim your name on Handshake. The easiest way will probably be through Namebase, which is a company that I work at, and sharing opportunities, telling people about Handshake. But by using your Handshake name, you're kind of just doing that anyways. And then finally, sharing ideas for engaging the community themselves. How are you guys engaging your communities? Because Handshake at the end of the day is an entirely community-run project, right? There's a saying, everyone's a director of Handshake. Anybody can be one. If you want to get involved, you just do it. There's no gatekeepers. There's no one you need to ask for permission. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Glad to have you on board the Panvala League, and I'm gonna claim my name this week.
Awesome, glad to hear it.
Next up is NFT Hub.
Howdy. Nice to meet everybody. I'm Bruce. NFT Hub is, in simple terms, basically product hunt for NFTs with a bunch of extra bells and whistles, blockchain agnostic, community focused, and community governed. We're planning to open early access probably around the end of this month with we'll have a curated list of a couple hundred NFT projects we added, and then from there, like, anybody will be able to add their own projects, like submit their information, we'll just quickly approve it. And then a few other features is like a forum, you can set up like sub communities with their own social feed, a public calendar anybody can submit events to, essentially, because I've been full-time in the NFT space all year long, and before a couple months ago when it started exponentially growing, it was already hard to keep up with stuff. So just trying to aggregate as much as possible under one roof.
Awesome. There's one question in the chat. Is NFT Hub a DAO?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Really excited about what's going on there. The NFT space has taken off incredibly. It's hard to keep up with, but
It is wild. And so
there's
no
magic
signs of stopping. And,
Well, thanks for
the
your-
last link in the bottom right there is the link to the DAO.
Awesome. Cool. Next up is Trips Community.
Hi guys, Luca here. So Trips Community is a DAO, or we're trying to become a DAO, building something like a decentralized Airbnb. And we've been working 3 years on the project, and just recently realized the way to go is to go first with the protocols, which do one thing only. And then at the end of this path, we're going to be able to have the full-fledged booking platform. So one of the ways is to go through Gitcoin. We have it's a second round of a Gitcoin for a specific protocol, which will allow people to back up their reviews from Airbnb or Booking.com on the blockchain before they get kicked out or before these companies close or whatever. So it's kind of saving your own reputation online. And another protocol we are trying to start working on is through our Gnosis grant. It's a booking and escrow protocol in which you basically embed on your Web2 booking site a crypto widget where people can pay in crypto, and the money is escrowed, and there's a dispute resolution layer in case there are problems, kind of like the Airbnb resolution system, right? One update interesting for us is we never been pushing on growing the community before we had a strong core, and recently we decided it was time to grow, and we went through TipCC, which is the system on Discord where you can tip and airdrop people basically tokens in a custodial wallet from TipCC, but it's very, very effective. So if you want to grow your community, check it out. It's incredibly effective. We went from 600 to 3,000 people in Discord in a matter of weeks. And the next upcoming event is $400 crowdfunded airdrop. So we collected Ether in our Discord, and we're gonna distribute it in an airdrop and in question and answer. And that brings a lot of traffic. So, and out of all these people come in mostly to get, easy little money, I would say. A few people stayed, and a few people are now part of the community, and they are actually helping. So it's a very interesting time and way to grow the community. And the way you can help is if you want to help developing the centralized protocols, well, we're developing open source. So jump in and let's build this thing together, basically. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. That is the last community update in this deck for this month. Before I open the floor to any last shout outs or comments, I wanted to reiterate, like, every community here has a Gitcoin grant up for this quarter. Feel free to support those Gitcoin grants with PAN. Donations in PAN get matched both by Gitcoin and from Panvala's inflation. So donating with PAN is the way to go. And support each other. The more we all succeed, the more any community succeeds, the more we all succeed together. That's what the Panvala League is all about. Any last questions, comments, or shout outs before we call it a day?
Want to say,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if we donate, if two projects donate PAN to each other, is it somehow punished by Gitcoin?
So like Gitcoin in their quadratic funding formula, they are, I think they're still using the method that Vitalik described a little bit later in the process, where if there's similar donation profiles, they receive less of a quadratic bonus. So it's not about donating to each other. It's more about like the set of projects that you've donated to. That's what determines how unique your donation profile is.
Yeah, I believe the highest donation matches are from new donors. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Yeah, same here.
I just want to recommend everyone who has CStack tokens, come to cv.commonstack.org and actually put your grant on there. All the grants that are submitted by people in the Trusted Seed. Most of you probably have CStack tokens, honestly, or a lot of you, anyone who received praise has the ability to add a grant there, and that's where all of our funds go. So I would love to see, like, you know, our fund, like kind of a incestuous relationship between the Panvala group here, where, you know, funds go to our grant and then it goes to your grants and it just keeps the circle going. It'd be really fun.
Where can I find the CStack token address, Griff?
I'll put it in the chat.
All right, cool.
It's on XDAI.
So yeah, you definitely want your grant on the Common Stack conviction voting portal, because Common Stack, they're kind of pan whales. So when it comes to staking, they have an easier job getting more of the Panvala inflation, because the more you stake, the more percentage of Panvala's inflation you can earn in an easy way. So if your project's supported by Common Stack, you're probably going to get a big chunk from them, as well as what you would get from your own grant. So you definitely want to be a part of that.
One more to up your grants is getting Bread ID verified and linking that to your Gitcoin account. And as we wrap up here, if anyone wants help with that, I'm happy to stay and help any of you get verified. But all of your grants recipients will get 25% bonus matching if you simply link your Bread ID account. So big opportunity, and that is true also for PAN donations as such as the way that they flow through Gitcoin.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's really easy. I already hooked my Bread ID up to my Gitcoin account. It's dead simple. So if you aren't connected to the Trust Graph and Bread ID, get that done once we wrap up here on this call. Don't leave.
Yeah, hey Niran, regarding the actual structure of these calls, so my understanding is each community just gets 3 minutes of floor time to kind of talk about what they do. But is there any opportunity for like open discussion, like chiming in? Because I didn't feel like it was too appropriate to like dig in too deep on any particular. For example, I'd love to learn how the TRIPS community grew their Discord so quickly. Like that would be something great to learn from.
Yeah, happy to help anytime.
Yeah, so we could definitely chat about that now. Last month, I tried like leaving a gap for questions after every community, and it just felt weird. So then I switched to looking for comments in the chat. and then raising those. So I'll try to make that more explicit at the beginning of the next call. It's like, hey, it's totally fair game to discuss what each community is presenting. You just have to say it in the chat, so then we can pause before moving on to the next community. But now's a good time for that too, though.
Got it. Yeah. Luca, would love to hear. I don't mean to call you out in front of everyone here.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. If you have 5 minutes, I can explain. So these guys launched TipCC. It's a Discord. Well, there's a website, tip.cc, and you pay them $200 to add your token, right? And then from that moment on, every server with TipCC can support your token. So what we did, we paid them $200. They added our token, trips. And then I sent some trips from my wallet to my wallet in TipCC, which is custodial. And from that moment on, I could just go in my Discord and write $tip at somebody, 1 trips. And they got the trips in their custodial wallet in TipCC, right? And then I could do $airdrop 100 trips in a channel. And anybody who within 3 minutes clicks on the airdrop icon gets a part of this. So if 100 people click, 100 people get 1 trips each, and several things like this, right? That attracts a lot of people who are roaming the internet, getting coins, right? It's like small uni version, like I want free coins, and nothing attracts people more than free money, right? And so many people came in from TipCC Discord. And actually, the way to advertise yourself in TipCC is a promo channel. You have to ask them the permission. But then as long as you donate at least $5 worth of your token or any other token, you have the possibility to promote yourself. And so they have 4,000 or 5,000 users, maybe a couple of thousand came to us. So we kept doing this, we kept experimenting. And of course, this is a bit like buying users, a bit like you buying users on Facebook. But you're not paying Facebook, you're paying users directly, right? So, and 99% of them are just trying to get tokens right and left, but a small part of them stayed with us. And we got a couple of them who now are, one is a moderator, and the other one is helping around, and we pay them in trips again, right? And then some of these people are, so they also can earn by sharing our content on social media, right? So they get a trip for sharing on Twitter, etc., like this. And well, that's it. So it remains to be seen how organic this is, but still, you know, we've always been against growing in this way, like paying Facebook to grow. But at the end of the day, if you don't have an audience, if you have just a few people in your Discord or Telegram or Facebook, it affects negatively the whole project. People come in and say, this guy have no numbers, right? And so what everybody does is they invest money in social media. So they give money to Facebook, to Google. It's what every startup does. It's kind of, there's no way to get out of this. Organic growth is really, really hard. And we've been growing organically for 3 years. And it's been really hard. We were stuck at 600 in Discord, 100 in Telegram, etc. And now these people are earning trips. They are selling trips in Uniswap or Honeyswap. So they are kind of putting the price down. It's fine. And now they're staking too, so the liquidity pool is growing. So let's say is a quick way to get exposure, which is, in my opinion, better than simply paying the usual suspects. It's been going on for a month, so we'll see where it takes us. But you know, check it out. Sushi has been trying this in the last days. I've seen them in their Discord. They're trying this. So I guess you see this as one way, as a tool, and you have to adapt it to your specific situation.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. How do you spell TipCC?
Oh, TIP dot C like letter, C letter.
Yeah, I'm there. Great, thank you so much. That was really interesting.
Welcome.
And super excited to hear the updates like in the coming months.
Yeah.
How those initial users interact with your community. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the URL for visiting that?
TIP.cc. Oh,
I'm doing tips. Got it. There it goes. Cool. Thank you.
Any last questions, comments, shout outs before we all say bye?
Did I fuck up and not make a slide? So I wasn't paying attention.
It's totally cool. If you want, you can give whatever update you want without a slide.
I wanted to ask Luca for his contact details on whatever kind of social media platform.
On my personal, maybe Twitter.
Twitter, okay. What's the handle?
Twitter.com/tripluca. Let me share it there. Yeah.
Tripluca, okay.
I'll share one random cool thing. The other night, Andreas Antonopoulos came to one of our Bright ID connection parties. We ended up having an awesome hour-long call with him. He started off actually having a bad experience coming to the previous meeting, and then didn't understand what it was, but came back, listened. We had a great conversation, and now he's actually excited and considering using it for some of the problems that he has. He's got some really exciting ideas that he's been brewing for years about social recovery for key management for all the private keys. So we are very hopeful that we can win Andreas onto the platform and wanting to work with us. So hoping that works out.
Yeah,
I'd love
sorry
to
to
hear
interrupt.
about
Andreas, we are patrons for Andreas, and it's really cool that when we start traveling again, if you're a Patreon, you got these happy hours with him. So before or after a conference, and you can actually go and meet him. And I did this in Athens and in Sofia, and he's really good. So if you want to support him, Patreon is really good, even $1 a month or something.
Nice, good tip.
Cool. With that, we'll call it. Don't hop off yet. I'm going to stop recording, and we'll do the Bright ID connection party for anybody who's not connected yet. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for sharing what your community's up to. We might skip January depending on how the dates turn out. People might still be on holidays. But in general, again, we want to keep improving this call for you. So any feedback you have about how you want it to work, I always want to hear it. But thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing. And see you next month, maybe.
Thanks very much.
Don't leave, though.
Yeah.